All right, we were asked to give a little presentation about the Inter website. My name is Dave. This is Christina Takens. Before we begin, we'd like to extend our gratitude to Felix Pereiro and Liz McCormick, among the other nameless faces of Inter, for allowing us to have a say in this. I think it's great that the students have a voice in the website. All right, before we begin, on the website itself, we'd like to talk a little bit about innovation. Innovation is the lifeblood of today's markets and the global economy. In so many words, innovation is the ability to generate and implement new ideas, whether that's a change in the manufacturing process or a revolutionary new product. It is actually so important that Peter Drucker, who is considered by many to be the father of modern management, says this about it. Because the purpose of business is to create a customer, the business enterprise has two, and only two, basic functions: marketing and innovation. Marketing and innovation produce results. The rest are just costs. To have an innovative company, it demands risk-oriented leadership, creative thinking, and a corporate culture that embraces new ideas. If somebody were to ask Henry Ford, how did he know that the automobile was going to be successful when the Model T came out? He would have said, well, if I would have asked the people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. That is innovation. And Christina's going to give us a couple examples in the modern age.
Thank you, Dave. We have a few examples of innovative companies. They are Apple, Toyota, and Procter & Gamble. We're all familiar. What we found very innovative about Apple is, the co-founder, Steve Jobs, once said, "You can't ask people what they want if it's around the next corner." We took this to mean you have to tell them what they want because they don't know yet. So that you can't ask them because they're going to give you the options that are already there, and that doesn't create innovation. You don't have to create something new to offer to them. Apple also has no focus groups. They create things not by asking people how they feel about little examples, but they just find a product that they really are passionate about and they just run with it. They have faith in their own abilities and their own staff that they are going to create something that everyone is going to want. They're going to create the customer, not the other way around. They use the imaginative corporate culture, which is encouraging collaboration among the team. Teamwork is very important to innovation. It is indeed a foundation of innovation. Moving on to another example is Toyota. In 2001, when gas prices were $1.30, is when the Prius came out. Nobody really saw that much value in a hybrid car. They were very expensive at the time because they were the only one. Now, 8 years later, with gas sometimes around $5, there's a much more need. Everyone else now wants to come out with their own hybrid car, which is an example of how innovation leads the way in new trends and the things that the global economy and things that we come together. Also, we had an example of Procter & Gamble. The CEO, A.G. Lafley, we've already mentioned, and other people have mentioned. He wrote the Game Changer, How to Drive Revenue and Profit Through Innovation. This is a very big foundation for his whole company. He believes in teamwork and outstanding group dynamic. Groups and coming together and working together, brilliant minds together, are very innovative, more than just one alone, obviously. I'm going to go to the next one. You're up.
All right, Inter is a website that was created over the last 2 years by innovation experts, business professionals, and students. Inter, as you see, stands for Innovate Now Through Education and Retraining. Its intention is to educate and re-educate students and those already in the workforce. And we feel that upon completion of this course, they will be immediately more valuable to their current and future employers, and more likely to land the jobs that they'd like.
Now, the three major target markets for the Inter project and for innovation are students, professors, and business leaders. The students are going to be the core exposure. They have tested and produced this whole concept, which is very inviting as a student because it lets you be involved and you know that you're going to be able to relate to it because other students are the ones who have put this together and made adjustments, suggestions, and actually picked it apart, as it were, to make a better product for learning the innovation process. Professors, the main thing that we need to get across to the professors as far as for the market is that it is an effective tool. There's little tweaks and things that need to be, adjusted that we will later talk about, but it really does actually help you realize when you're being innovative, and it's not teaching you new things, it's just highlighting things that are easily overlooked, things that we don't even think about. You don't think to look at the clouds and look at a picture, things that are lost from, your more creative time in childhood as you get to be an adult. And then business leaders. If you put your teams through the innovation process and the inter-program, then they will give you better results for the company. This, after we get from the more educational standpoint and the word of mouth gets around a little bit more, this shouldn't be all that difficult to implement. They should see the effects in the new students that are coming out and approaching the job market. So those are our 3 major target markets for this. Oh, just kidding, it's me again. Next, we're going to go through the program components a little bit. We all know it's 23 skill sets that are broken down into 4 major groups. The me, process, we, and outcomes. These each have little descriptions of the different skills, and then you go through the modules. There's 5 to 7 modules per one with the activities. You go through them, and they show how each concept is applied and how you would use it. They reinforce the information, and there's also, the My page where you get to do your individualism with your picture and your comments and your friends, etc., for more of a social networking aspect that is also tied into it.
All right. Although Inter does have a great amount of value for its users, we found that there are certain aspects that could be improved. And one of our biggest areas of improvement was that we found out of the 23 modules, there seemed to be too many. It almost felt like we were jumping through hoops. And in each one, there was not enough real information. It seemed almost elementary at times. And some of the modules would actually overlap with information that could be used in either one. So what we propose is actually merging or eliminating some of the modules. And here I put up an example. As you can see, discovery and synthesis have been removed from the process module. They've actually been merged with, discovery was merged with imagination, and synthesis with teamwork. And then we took ideation, iteration, and filtering, and we kind of merged them together. And we created a new one, idea evolution. In brief, as defined by Inter, ideation is a process of developing ideas in the beginning stages. Filtering is narrowing down options for further development. And iteration is exploring and refining these ideas until they get to closer where you'd like. And we think that we could summarize all that and add more information and call it idea evolution. That's just one of our suggestions.
Now, other than the actual modules and the formatting, another suggestion that we had was regarding this journaling function that all of the students have had, different feedback for. We kind of proposed that we just eliminate it. Just get rid of it altogether and replace it with a different, similar a discussion forum where it would be required for the students to participate, to state your own original thought and then to also reply to another classmate. This is going to encourage dialogue and a little more collaboration, which really is key to innovation. If they wanted to keep the journaling aspect, it needs to be accessible. When you are actually going through the process and you take notes on something or journal about your experiences, you need to be able to go back and reference those so that you can use them and apply them and get some sort of connection together, which was something that was kind of lacking. So either eliminating the journaling function or kind of changing a little bit more so it's more accessible to you on your Me page and to your whole connection of the process. Another example or suggestion that we had was the networking feature of the chatting. Chatting is very popular now in general on the internet in this 21st century that we live in. And if the people can chat, if you can chat about what you're going on with the modules, and it also opens up the possibility for group modules, so that maybe the we group is not so much metaphorical but literal, where you have to do activities together as a group, where you're feeding off of each other and interacting. I have a quote here from the 10 Faces of Innovation, which is written by Tom Kelly. Innovation is a team sport. So as it is right now, the Inter website didn't have a whole lot of team. You could, talk to each other and leave comments, but not actual interaction with each other, which we feel is very important to the whole concept of innovation and would actually make it more meaningful and more relatable. If you're in a company, you could, have your company teams come together and do things together as well, which would be very useful. And that's about.
All right, once again, we'd like to thank Felix and Liz for the opportunity, and that's us.